My name is Diana, and I'm 32 years old. Last fall in our suburban Oklahoma City home, I thought I'd finally get that elusive moment of family pride during our dinner celebrating Dad's new pickup truck. I'd just gotten engaged to Sean, the man who truly values my efforts and cheers my successes, and earned a hard-fought promotion to lead designer after over 4 years of late nights and extra projects. I was thrilled picturing how this gathering with the familiar smell of Oklahoma BBQ in the air and everyone around the table might shift things. No more constant put-downs or comparisons. Maybe they'd see my achievements for once. But what happened that evening unraveled our family bonds in a way that set me free. My parents said, "You're the most useless child we have." Everyone stared. I stood up and said something that made their faces drop. The room turned deathly silent. Have you ever had to set unbreakable boundaries with family who drained your resources while diminishing your worth? Share your journeys in the comments. I'd truly appreciate hearing how you summoned the strength to prioritize yourself. If this narrative resonates, thank you for joining me. May it spark the bravery in someone to articulate their truth. Here's to cultivating the fortitude to affirm your importance and command the honor you've always merited. Growing up in our suburban home in Oklahoma City, I was always the middle child who blended into the background. My older brother Dustin was the golden boy, the one who could do no wrong in my mother Julie's eyes. He's a software engineer now, and she never misses a chance to brag about his latest app launch. My younger sister Jenna was the baby of the family, the little star who got away with murder and ended up as a journalist covering local stories. And me, Diana, right in the middle, scrambling to find a way to stand out and earn even a sliver of the praise they got without trying. From as early as I can remember, the family dynamics were clear. Dustin would bring home a report card with mostly B's, and Mom would throw a pizza party to celebrate his effort. I'd study late into the night to pull straight A's, and the best I'd get was a quick "good job" before the conversation shifted to how Dustin was helping Dad with his small business website. Jenna could spill milk all over the kitchen floor in a tantrum, and it was just her being expressive cute even. But if I raised my voice during an argument, I was labeled dramatic and sent to my room for an attitude check. I started working part-time jobs in high school to prove my worth. At 16, I got a gig flipping burgers at a local fast food joint near our neighborhood. The shifts were long and greasy, but I saved every dollar to buy thoughtful gifts. For Mom's birthday, I got her a personalized necklace with our birthstones. Dad got a new tool set for his garage tinkering. Dustin and Jenna would pick up cheap cards or candy last minute. Yet their stuff always got the big reactions, the hugs, the thank yous that lingered. Mine, a polite smile and, "That's nice," before Mom gushed about Dustin's school project or Jenna's dance recital. Those moments built up a quiet resentment, but I pushed it down. I figured if I contributed more, they'd see me. Weekends, I'd mow the lawn or help Dad Victor fix up his old pickup truck in the driveway. He'd pat my back sometimes, but Mom would steer the talk to how Dustin was acing his coding classes or Jenna was writing for the school paper. It felt like no matter what I did, I was invisible unless they needed something. College seemed like my escape hatch. I chose graphic design because I loved turning ideas into visuals, logos, layouts that told stories. When I announced my major at a family BBQ, Mom's face twisted like I'd said I was joining a circus. Graphic design. She scoffed, her voice thick with disappointment. That's just doodling on a computer, Diana. Why not something solid like Dustin's engineering degree or smart like Jenna's journalism path? Dad nodded along, not defending me, just sipping his beer. I graduated with honors anyway and landed an entry-level job at a small firm in downtown Oklahoma City. The work was creative, designing ads for local businesses, strategizing campaigns that boosted sales. I'd stay late, take on extra clients, and celebrate small wins like a successful billboard launch. Calling home to share the pattern held, "That's interesting, honey." Oh, did I mention Dustin just got a raise at his tech job? Or Jenna's article made the front page? It stung, but I kept calling, kept trying. That's when I met Amber at the office. She was a fellow designer, sharp and straightforward. During a lunch break, I vented about a family call where Mom dismissed my latest project to praise Jenna's internship. Amber leaned in her eyes, serious. Diana, you're letting them drain you emotionally. You deserve better. Don't let them treat you like a backup plan. Her words hit hard the first time someone outside the family called it out. We became close, grabbing coffee after work, where she'd push me to value my own path. As years passed, my career crept forward. I moved up to mid-level designer, leading small teams on regional campaigns. Each step felt earned through grit, networking at local events, learning new software on my own time. But family visits reinforced the gap. At holidays, conversations circled Dustin's promotions or Jenna's bylines. My updates glossed over. Amber's advice echoed more, "They're using your kindness against you. When will you push back?" The comparisons wore me down, but I held on thinking loyalty would pay off. Little did I know how deep the imbalance ran. After college, the requests for help started coming in more frequently. It began with small things like when Dad's small business hit a rough patch and his pickup truck broke down. I wired him $500 for repairs without a second thought, figuring that's what family does in Oklahoma, where everyone relies on their vehicles. He thanked me quietly over the phone, but Mom never mentioned it at our next get-together. Instead, she steered the talk to Dustin's new project at his tech firm or Jenna's latest scoop for the local news outlet. The favors escalated from there. When Grandma Patricia fell and needed home care after a hospital stay, I took time off work to drive her to appointments in the city. I'd sit in waiting rooms for hours, picking up prescriptions and stocking her fridge with easy meals, all while sneezing through my allergies to her cats, which I'd never complained about before. Dustin was too buried in code deadlines to help, and Jenna claimed her reporting schedule was packed. But when I updated Mom on Grandma's progress, she'd pivot to how proud she was of Dustin mentoring interns or Jenna interviewing city officials. The big hit came last spring when Mom needed gallbladder surgery. Their insurance covered most, but there was a $3,000 gap for deductibles and extras common in American healthcare, where bills stack up fast. She called me in tears, explaining Dad's business couldn't handle it. I dipped into my savings and transferred the money right away, even though it meant delaying my own apartment upgrade. In return, at a family picnic soon after, Mom critiqued my job stability compared to Dustin's steady engineering gig and Jenna's rising byline count. It felt like a slap, but I bit my tongue. These weren't one-offs. Over 2 years, I'd sent $1,000 monthly for their mortgage when Dad's clients dried up during a local slowdown. I covered Jenna's journalism conference fees, another $1,500, because she said it was crucial for her career. And when Dustin's student loans spiked with interest, I quietly paid off $4,000 to keep him afloat, at Mom's insistence that it stay secret to avoid embarrassing him. Each time, Amber would hear about it over our coffee runs. She'd shake her head and say, "Diana, it's time to cut this off if they won't respect you. You're not their bank, you're building your own life." Her words stuck, especially after a tough week at work where I nailed a client pitch, but came home to another plea from Mom for utility help. I started tracking everything in emails to myself, receipts piling up as proof. The constant drain left me living tight, skipping vacations while they praised Dustin and Jenna's travels. At neighborhood BBQs, relatives like Aunt Melanie and Uncle Corey would chat about everyone's wins, but mine got glossed over. Amber pushed harder during one venting session. "Look at the pattern they take, you give and they still put you down. Draw the line before it breaks you." I tried ignoring it, focusing on my designs that were gaining traction locally, but the imbalance grew clearer with each transfer. Family meant support, yet it felt one-sided. Amber's advice turned into regular check-ins, reminding me I deserved reciprocity. Still, I held back, hoping things would shift on their own. "You have any stories of pouring into family only to get overlooked?" Share in the comments your experiences might help others spot the signs early. This fall, my life started turning around in ways I hadn't expected. Sean and I had been dating for 3 years, and he proposed during a quiet walk in a local park under the Oklahoma sunset. The ring was modest, a simple band with a diamond that caught the light just right, but it meant everything because he valued my independence and pushed me to chase my goals. Around the same period, my firm promoted me to lead designer, complete with a salary bump and my own team to manage. For once, I felt solid in my career, handling bigger campaigns for statewide clients. I couldn't wait to share both updates at the family dinner celebrating Dad's new pickup truck. The event was at our suburban home with the garage door open to show off the shiny vehicle he'd been eyeing for months. I arrived early, arms loaded with wrapped presents I'd picked carefully, a custom leather wallet for Dad engraved with his initials, a professional notebook set for Jenna's reporting, and a high-end coffee maker for Dustin's home office. Amber had texted me beforehand, "Stay strong if they pull their usual crap, your news matters." The house filled with the scent of grilled steaks and corn on the Cobb Classic Oklahoma fare. Relatives trickled in, Aunt Melanie and Uncle Corey, along with cousins Ariel and Evan. Dad greeted me with a quick hug, asking about work in his usual gruff way. "How's the design gig going?" I beamed. "Actually, Dad, I've got big news to share tonight." Mom appeared from the kitchen, eyeing my outfit. "Diana, that blouse washes you out. Jenna's dress looks so sharp you should borrow her style tips." Jenna lounged in the living room in her tailored outfit, scrolling her phone for news alerts. Dustin sat nearby, checking emails on his laptop. "About time you showed," Jenna teased. "We're starving." The gift exchange kicked off predictably. Dustin handed out generic gift cards from online stores, but Mom raved about his generosity. Jenna gave parents tickets to a concert, sparking 20 minutes of excitement. My gifts got flipped through quickly. "This wallet's practical," Dad said, squeezing my shoulder. Mom glanced at the coffee maker. "Useful, I suppose. Dustin, tell us about that new client you landed." As evening wore on, tension built. I helped Mom plate the food, but she assigned Jenna to chat with Grandma Patricia instead. She shouldn't bother with kitchen duty after her busy week. Dinner started at 6 sharp, table set with everyday china. Conversation flowed to Dustin's tech breakthroughs and Jenna's investigative piece. I waited for an opening. "So everyone, I've got exciting updates." Before finishing, Mom interrupted. "Diana, graphic design's fine, but it's not like Dustin's engineering. Real impact there." I pushed on, pulling the ring box from my purse. "Sean proposed last month. We're engaged. And I got promoted to lead designer." Polite claps came, Dad smiling genuinely, but Mom's face stayed flat. "Engaged to a project manager, stable I guess, but not impressive like Dustin's field." Jenna chuckled. "Hope he knows you're high maintenance." The digs landed hard, but when parents both said, "You're the most useless child we have," something snapped. I stood, voice steady. "Then stop calling when you need money." Mom gasped. "What?" I pulled up email receipts on my phone. "Here's proof: $500 for Dad's truck repair, $3,000 for your surgery, $1,500 for Jenna's conference, $4,000 for Dustin's loans." Dad stammered. "Diana, we didn't—" Mom cut in. "You're exaggerating." But I read dates and amounts aloud, the table frozen. "I've been your safety net while you trash me." I declared. The support ended no more. The words hung heavy in the air as reactions poured in. Mom's face twisted in panic. "Diana, you're twisting everything." Dad shifted uncomfortably, muttering, "We appreciated the help, but this is out of line." Dustin leaned forward, eyes wide. "Sis, I had no clue about the loans. If I'd known, I'd have handled it myself." Jenna crossed her arms, defensive. "Why blow this up now? It's not like we forced you." Grandma Patricia cleared her throat, her voice sharp despite her age. "Julie, you've been using this girl like a crutch while knocking her down. That's not right." Aunt Melanie nodded, whispering to Uncle Corey, who looked stunned. Cousins Ariel and Evan stared at their plates, avoiding the tension. But Mom shot back at Grandma. "Mother, stay out of it, you don't know the full story." The room buzzed with overlapping voices, relatives murmuring in shock. I stayed standing, heart pounding but resolve firm. "The full story is, I've sacrificed my stability for years while you all act like I'm the burden. No more excuses, this ends today." Dustin tried again. "Let me pay you back, Diana, name the amount." Jenna added, "Yeah, it's family, we sort these things privately." But their words rang hollow after the years of oversight. Grandma pressed on, turning to me. "Honey, you've done more than enough, they owe you an apology." Her support felt validating, but it didn't sway me. "Apologies won't fix the disrespect, Grandma. I've given enough." Mom's eyes narrowed. "You're being selfish, Diana, families stick together." Dad reached for my arm. "Sit down, let's talk this through." I pulled away gently. Talking won't change the pattern. The well is dry. As chaos erupted, Aunt Melanie demanding details from Mom, Uncle Corey questioning Dad, I gathered my things. The cousins whispered among themselves, Ariel asking Evan if it was true. I pushed my chair back, the scrape echoing. "I'm done being the invisible fixer. Goodbye." Walking out the door into the cool Oklahoma night, I felt a mix of relief and ache. The ties severing hurt, yet the weight lifting brought clarity. In my car, I dialed Amber, tears blurring the road. She answered on the first ring. "Hey, how'd it go?" I recounted, the blow-up voice breaking. "They called me useless and I finally spilled everything." Amber listened, then said firmly, "You did the right thing, standing up shows strength. Now focus on you and Sean, you've earned peace." Her encouragement steadied me, turning the pain into purpose. Driving home, the silence let emotions flood, grief for the family ideal I'd chased, but empowerment from claiming my boundaries. It wasn't easy. Doubts crept in about being too harsh. Yet Amber's voice echoed, reminding me this was self-preservation. For the first time, I prioritized my future over their needs. Months later, the fallout became clear in unexpected ways. Dad's small business struggled without my monthly infusions, leading to a permanent closure after he couldn't secure new clients amid Oklahoma's economic dip. He took a part-time consulting role, but the income drop forced them to downsize their lifestyle. No more spontaneous trips or upgrades. Mom enrolled in a free community class on budgeting, something she'd never considered before, and they sold off extra household items online to cover bills. It wasn't bankruptcy, but the pinch was real. A common story in American households hit by unexpected gaps. Dustin faced his own adjustments. Without my bailout on his loans, he negotiated a payment plan with his lender, cutting back on luxuries like his home gym setup to meet monthly dues. Jenna, meanwhile, delayed her next career move, opting for freelance gigs instead of that expensive certification course she'd planned. They both reached out once via text asking if we could talk, but I didn't respond. Boundaries meant no more enabling. Relatives like Aunt Melanie checked in occasionally, sharing updates that the family was getting by, but no apologies came. For me, the change was liberating. With the financial drain gone, my savings grew steadily. Sean and I closed on a cozy starter home in a quiet Oklahoma suburb, complete with a backyard for weekend gatherings. My work performance soared. Without the constant worry, I pitched bolder ideas, landing a follow-up promotion to senior lead, with even more responsibility. Clients praised my campaigns, and for the first time, I felt unburdened, able to travel or invest without guilt. Yet it wasn't all triumph. Nights hit hard sometimes. I'd scroll old photos and feel a pang for the family unity I'd idealized. The silence from them stung, a reminder of lost connections. But those moments passed, replaced by gratitude for my chosen circle. Sean's steady support, Amber's weekly check-ins where we'd laugh over coffee, about building lives on our terms. Cutting ties felt like mourning, but it birthed a stronger self. The real lesson crystallized through it all. Set boundaries early to safeguard your self-worth and financial independence, because in America, soaring medical costs and living expenses can drain you dry if you don't prioritize yourself. Experts recommend starting with tracking apps like Mint to monitor outflows. If you're in a similar spot, act before resentment builds. Recognize when giving turns toxic. Knowing your value means refusing to let others diminish it, even if they're blood.